Hi peeps. Well, it's that time of year. It's midsummer favorite decks. And I don't know, how you all have been, how things have been. I forgot to turn the ring light on. Let me do that. I don't know how things have been for all of you out there in the world. It seems like the month of July has been pretty intense for a lot of us, and I know personally for me, I had some plans and some things shifted, and so I've definitely been in a really tender space as far as my personal, self goes and my spiritual path goes. Really been looking for and needing a sense of love and compassion from the decks that I've been using personally for myself. And so while this is definitely my Midsummer 2021 favorite deck video that so many of you have come to love over the years, it's also a good list if you are going through something in your life and really needing to experience compassion for yourself on your path, and also release shame. So if you're kind of in that raw, vulnerable space, these decks may be helpful for you, because I've certainly found them to be for myself. So it's not my heaviest or biggest list ever, but it's definitely a longer list, I would say, I think, than some of my more recent favorite deck videos. I've definitely been using a lot of decks for myself and doing a lot of journeying with my cards personally, and then also, working with clients to do that as well. And so that's felt really important. I think there are times for all of us where we really work with our cards or our decks a lot, and then there are times when we take a step back and we focus more on other aspects of our craft and our path. But definitely for me, working with decks has been really important right now, just to understand myself, the messages I'm receiving from my guides, and also just to offer myself some compassion and love. So a lot of these decks, you guys are going to be like, I figured that was going to be on here. But I'm going to start, let's see, where am I going to start? I'm going to start with the Hush Tarot. So I have a lot of these in their boxes still. The Hush Tarot is a really beautiful deck. I've done a review on the channel, and I know a lot of you have loved this deck as well. It has a really beautiful, precocious fae energy. It's very nature-based. But it's also very loving. It's very honest, but it's very loving. And that's what I found particularly wonderful about this deck recently. It's a joy to read for others with, for sure. And it also, like I said, it gives very clear messages, but it's not necessarily going to smash you over the head with the message. And as you guys know, I typically like decks that are just straight up and straight shooters and kind of give it to you. I'm trying to think of a way to say this that's appropriate for YouTube. Give it to you like straight up, to the point, bam, in your face. But sometimes we need something a little bit gentler. And this deck has definitely served that purpose of being honest, but also gentle and understanding. And there's something when you're going through a difficult time, I think, looking to nature for her cycles and honoring, being able to see her cycles, the times when she's waxing and waning, or when she's, blossoming or lying fallow. There's something that can be it can be a balm to your soul. And I think this deck speaks to that aspect of nature really beautifully. So if you're feeling disconnected from your body, from nature itself, from your path, I think this deck is a beautiful choice to, reconnect with that energy and to feel really supported and loved on your path. So again, this is the Hush Tarot by Jeremy Hush, guys. Let's see. Where am I going to go next? I'm going to go next to a tried and true. This deck has been on, I think, all of my lists for like the last year or so. I am really, really loving this deck. And it's become a deck that I use all the time. I use it for clients. I use it for myself almost every day. This deck is a little bit harsher with its truth, but it always gets to the heart of the matter. So This is Alice the Wonderland Oracle, of course, by Lucy Cavendish and Jasmine Beckett Griffith. Really, really beautiful. If you like Jasmine's artwork, you will love this deck. If you are a fan of Lewis Carroll's actual stories, not the other versions told, you will also enjoy the care with which Cavendish approached, staying authentic and true to that energy and those storylines in this deck. But it also is a really great deck for getting down into like the emotional root of the matter and offering you truth and clarity. So, and it's beautiful to work with a tarot deck as a clarifier because it will just point, at least for me, it points right to the emotional terrain that's involved in the situation that either I'm looking at for myself or that I'm looking at for a client or a querent. So this is Alice the Wonderland Oracle by Lucy Cavendish and Jasmine Beckett Griffith. It's one of my absolute favorite oracle decks of all time at this point, and I really, really love it. And I've enjoyed the clarity and the wisdom that this deck has offered me over the last month or so. And I just wanted to say really quickly too, I am wearing one of my lovely friend's shirts. So this is a beautiful, very consciously designed wearable art brand. It's an indie brand called Come Dragonfly With Me, and you can see I have the Love Fearlessly shirt on here. I have the Dragonfly Bedelia that I chose as well. So I just wanted to do a shout out to Come Dragonfly With Me. And I know some of you guys are going to ask, where did I get my shirt? And so yeah, that's where I got my shirt. I'll put the link below, but I just figured I would share that really quickly. And it kind of works with Alice the Wonderland Oracle as well because it has that whimsical feel, and yet it's also a very powerful energy too. So back to my list. I'm going to go with the Witch's Tarot next by Burning Paper Hearts. I am so excited for the full size deck to be released, and that's coming out soon. This is the majors only right now deck, but I love this deck. I've done a couple videos on the channel because some of you have had questions about how to work with it. It's really powerful for big picture. Oh, there is nudity in this deck, guys. Sorry, before I show the images. It's really perfect for like big picture, understanding soul purpose and working with that type of energy. So if this is something that you're bringing into your practice, or you want a really powerful deck for your altar that can help you with visualization and focusing energy and like an understanding of your core theme at this time, this is a really beautiful deck for that. It's very sacred feminine focused. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's just a stunning deck. So this is the Witch's Tarot by Burning Paper Hearts. And I use this a great deal with clients, but I also use it specifically myself for a daily, either a daily theme from the majors, or for like the story of where I am right now to understand that. And I like to keep that out on my altar throughout the day so I can kind of, go back to it, touch base with it, stay connected to that energy. So again, that's the Witch's Tarot by Burning Paper Hearts. I've also been using Victoria Francis Oracle. I talked about this in a recent video, I think, relatively recent, that I had this and I had gifted it a long time ago, but really didn't connect with it. And this time around, kind of creating my own journal for her and connecting with her in a little bit more of a personal manner than by working with the guidebook. I've really found a lot of wisdom with her. I don't use her with clients that often. She's really just a personal deck right now. But I've been enjoying connecting with her energy. And of course it has that beautiful gothic feel that I really love and connect with from an aesthetic standpoint. So this deck hits the sweet spot for me on a lot of levels right now. And it's really good for, I don't really use it as a clarifier. I use it more to like understand where I am on any given day. Now, let me explain really quickly the difference between like the Witch's Tarot and Victoria Francis Oracle here. The Witch's Tarot is going to, for me, talk about like the myth and the big picture of like where my soul's at and what it's exploring on any given day. The Victoria Francis Oracle is more of a personal, like maybe emotionally where I'm at, or, you know, if I get triggered, maybe what's behind that on, you know, that may be affecting me throughout the day. So that's the difference between those two. It's very close to the same thing, but it's a little bit different. And I just wanted to clarify that if you're trying to kind of develop your own daily practice with your cards, you may find that that you use multiple decks for a daily draw on any given day, because the nuances are very real in regards to what the cards are showing you. So that was Victoria Francis. The next two decks are really about, for me, kind of personal empowerment and like rebuilding a sense of self. After you go through something difficult, or you've had a disappointment, there is that rebuilding time when you're like rebuilding your sense of self and your understanding of yourself and who you are at this time. And both of these decks work really well for that. So the El Key Oracle and then the Magic of You Oracle. I'm going to kind of show them together because I really turn to these both for these very specific reasons. The Magic of You Oracle is a little bit more, for me, feels more really focused, witch focused on my path, and so that brings like an extra additional dose of yumminess for me, but it's not just simply focused. You don't have to be a witch to use the deck. I just think that there's a piece of it that really, really resonates with me as far as my path in regards to being a witch. So this is the El Key Oracle by Melanie Delon and Arwen Lynch Poe. So you can see, really beautiful artwork, and again, for me, rebuilding a sense of personal empowerment right now. You can see that there are keywords underneath: embrace, self-care showing up here, the now, awareness, acceptance here. Just, these are great decks for just giving you little reminders as you move throughout your day, or if you're working with card spreads, this understanding of, where you are and how to allow yourself to be where you are and be who you are in this moment. So that's the El Key Oracle, which is really, really lovely. I believe I've done a review on the channel, but I've at the very least done a review. One of you will let me know, and if I haven't done a review, I'll post a full review of that one. So here's the Magic of You Oracle by Fiona Horn. The only thing I will say about this deck is I really don't like the cardstock. It's so cheap. I wish it had better cardstock. But anyhow, here's the Magic of You Oracle. So, and this is, again, self-empowerment, but also like claiming your spiritual path as a witch, as who you are, stepping into your strength in regards to the sacred feminine. This is a really great deck for that type of empowerment. So if you're looking for that on your path right now, if you're feeling a little bit lost, this may be a deck that you want to connect with. It's just absolutely, absolutely stunning. So that's the Magic of You Oracle by Fiona Horn. Ow. Hit my nail there. That one hurt. So these last four are the ones that have been really important for me personally. Like, these are my top four for the Midsummer decks. And let's see, where am I going to start? I'll start with the Sacred Rebels. I use this deck a lot for soul purpose readings. It's a really powerful one for that. And as time has gone by, my love for this deck has strengthened. It's not a daily deck for me, but when I really need advice and support from my spirit guides about where I am on my path, this deck is really, really beautiful to work with for that purpose. So, and this is, of course, by Alana Fairchild. And it's a very popular deck. It's very easy to access or purchase if you don't have it and you feel called to. A simple Google search is going to get you access to the deck itself. It's so stunning. The artwork is so beautiful. The guidebook is really empowering, encouraging. If you're in a space where you're, again, feeling lost, this is a wonderful deck to reconnect with, to feel your strength again, to come back into your sense of self, and to understand who you are. And also, if you've gone through a time of like big shifts and you're not sure who you are anymore, and you're trying to allow yourself to grow and to change. Oh, hold on one sec, guys. I've been talking too much. Then this deck is one that I would recommend for you. You know, it's not like I use it as a clarifier. I don't use it as a clarifier at all anymore. I haven't for a long time in a tarot spread. I really just use it for soul purpose, for specific messages, and for personal empowerment. But that one's been really, really helpful lately. The other deck on this list is the Lantern Oracle. One of my lovely friends gifted this to me, and I am deeply grateful to her for doing so. I have a reveal up on the channel, and I'm getting ready to do a review soon, as I've been using it a great deal. This deck is really good for shadow work and personal empowerment around the sacred feminine. If you work with the goddess Hecate as well, this deck is really beautiful for that type of work. So this is the Lantern Oracle by Angelina Mirabitu. And the spreads in this guidebook are wonderful. I highly recommend the spreads in this guidebook, especially if you're wanting to do shadow work, but you're not sure how to, or you need a jumping off point, or you're a little bit nervous to look at something, but you feel like it's time. This is a deck that's going to be really upfront with you, let you know where the shadow is, encourage you to do more personal work. Like, the guidebook is really a jumping off point to journeying and to doing deeper work yourself on your path, but it's very supportive of you taking that further step for yourself. So, you know, the guidebook is not, I'm not saying the guidebook's not powerful, it is, but I think it's a really great jumping off point. Like, it points you in the direction to follow for yourself in regards to shadow work, and then you can move right along on that path. So, again, this is the Lantern Oracle by Angelina Mirabitu, and it's beautiful across the board, from the artwork to the feel of the deck. And it really doesn't, it's not just saying it's a shadow work deck, it's actually a shadow work deck, which I find incredibly refreshing. Okay, so these last two are both tarot decks, and they have been the most used at this point in time for me, personally. So this first of these last two is the Darkwood Tarot by Sasha Graham with art by Abigail Larson. I've talked about this deck so much on the channel. I love this deck so much. I recommend it highly to people, you know, who like this type of artwork or who are new to tarot. Like, this deck fits the bill across the board. It's a very clear, loving tarot deck, but it's also, it has this little bit of empowerment because it's telling a witch's journey through the story of tarot. So it brings like, it's not solely just focused on empowerment. Like, it's a well-rounded tarot deck. But if you are looking for that on your path, this deck is certainly going to give you that experience. So, you know, if you are looking to bring more of that into your practice, if you're at that place on your path right now, this is going to give you just a little bit of that, like, of that gentle, like, push to be feeling more empowered in regards to who you are. But it's also tarot, so it's going to be honest, it's going to be clear, and in a reading it's going to let you know where you are and what's going on and why it's going on. So again, this is the Darkwood Tarot by Abigail, artwork by Abigail Larson by Sasha Graham. I blacked the, oh God, guys, what is that term? I edged the deck in black marker, whatever the technical term is that for all my crafty witches out there. You guys know, I'm sure someone will post it in the comments below. But I did that myself. The deck doesn't come like this, just so that you know if you go to buy it. I don't want you to feel disappointed that that there isn't the black edging on the cards. That is something that I did additionally myself, because it just felt like it. It's a darker deck. She needed the dark with her. My number one most used deck right now for Midsummer is the Black Tarot. Oh, I love this deck so much. And as time goes by, I just love this deck more. And I use her more and more, especially personally. She is like the Louboutin of tarot decks anyhow. She's a pretty penny. She's independently made. She's amaze balls crafted. Like the level of craftsmanship and just beauty that goes into this deck is really unique. So if you're a collector, it speaks to your heart. But there's something about having all black with just the central focused image that really, when you're feeling like muddied and unclear and unsure, this deck is going to give you that level of clarity. And also this sense of like groundedness. I feel grounded when I work with this deck personally. Very clear, very grounded. And there's a sense of peace that comes from working with this deck. So if you are, if that's something that interests you, then I would say this deck is worth the investment. Like I would rather have this deck than 3 cheaper decks, if that makes sense. So for me, the investment level is worth it, but I do understand it's a lot to pay for a deck. However, if you see I don't know if you can see it in the light. No, that's not a good one. But like here's the strength card. Do you see the beautiful embossing in the back that you have in all the majors? There's just, it's a stunning deck. But personally for me right now, it's really been very much a friend. And I think the decks that over the years, like Tarot of Vampires, the True Black Tarot. Did I say the Black Tarot? I think it's True Black, right guys? Oh my God, I'm so bad at remembering the names as I get older. This one I will put a link to in the description box below. I don't do links to every deck in my videos like this because it would take me a long time. And also, everyone can do a Google search. So you can even do voice to text for that if you feel like texting, typing out the text is too much. So, part of like finding a great deck is like the searching for it, right? Like I feel like that's a little bit part of the journey. But this one I will post a link to because I think I just said the Black Tarot and it's the True Black Tarot. So I will be sure to post a link below for that. And I'm not even sure if it's available right now for purchase too, but yeah. This deck is a friend, and that's what I was just saying before I got a little sidetracked there. The best tarot decks, like the ones that you're going to keep around in your life, actually do become friends. Like Tarot of Vampires, the True Black Tarot, Darkwood Tarot, the Witches Tarot. These type of decks over the years have become such beautiful friends for me, and they've shared so much of my life story too, that there's this beautiful relationship that you build with them. And that is like the sweet spot as a reader. And that's the joy of all of the work of, coming to get to know a deck and understanding the structure of tarot and, doing daily draws every day or as near to every day as you can, even when you don't feel like it. That's the payoff of all of that work, journeying with the cards. That's the payoff of all that work, is the type of friendship and relationship that you build with a deck. So, and that's what you can come back to on your spiritual path at times, maybe when you do feel lost or alone. Those friends are there for you. Those guides are there for you. Those sacred tools are there for you at that time. So, that is my list. My most requested video. You guys always seem to love the Midsummer favorite decks video the most, which I'm really grateful for. It's been such a joy to do this video for 10 years now, almost. It's like 9 or 10 years, I think, because I started the channel before I was pregnant with my son. So I've been doing this video for a long time, and it's just a joy to get to do it for you all. So thank you for those of you who show up and watch the videos and request this video every year. I'm really grateful to you all. Yeah, so that's my list. And if you're finding yourself in a similar space to what I've discussed in this video, then these decks will certainly be friends to you on that journey. And please know I am thinking of you and sending you, as always, much love and many blessings. I'll see you in the next video.